Morning guys, Friday the 18th? Yeah, 18th of September. It's really interesting. I just went to walk across the stream bit here, so there's the stones that I sometimes cross. We haven't really had any rain. And then there was this man-made whole big branch thing where Willow is, that was just further up by where the ball is. And I looked at the stones and I thought, wow, how come the stones are so immersed in the water? Which they were, and then I thought, hold on a minute, and I looked at the man-made thing and I moved it just a couple of foot to the left, and then what I noticed was the water started to flow a lot more easier, and therefore the stones now that I can see are slightly less immersed in the water. So what that means for me is hopefully I won't get my feet too wet. The reason why I was sort of struck by that was just thought, yeah, sometimes, we don't even realise. I mean, I'm sure the people were just playing around, weren't they? But sometimes man-made structures are not always helpful in another way. So it might be it's helping in one purpose, but actually it then creates another problem which nature wouldn't necessarily have had the issue with, because it would have carried on doing what it needed to do. So yeah, sometimes it's like, well, when is it best to leave things alone rather than intervening? And if you are going to intervene, have you really thought through all of the impacts and the consequences of that, really, that action, whatever it is? I mean, I know you can't preempt every eventuality, but I do think sometimes there is more long sight, if you like, needed when changes are being made rather than just purely looking at the short term. Stay well. And also, when I just move that big branch, it wasn't too onerous to have to move it, because it'd only been there for less than a day. So to clear it didn't take long at all. Where my head went then was, I think, the longer you take to accrue things, acquire things, put other things in place, the bigger impact it has and the longer it will take to clear stuff. And that might sound really obvious, but I've been doing a bit of clearing in the garage, and I mean still need to do stuff in there. I was clearing some of the paperwork that I've accrued over quite a few years now with some of the courses I have and do deliver at Faircroft College. And so I was taking some time yesterday to clear some stuff. And when you're at that point where you've done absolutely loads, and my back was really starting to hurt. I mean, genuinely, just from standing up, bending over, picking up. And I knew I'd just done so much, and yet when I looked at, if you like, the physical space of where I'd got rid of some of the folders and the paperwork, it didn't look that much, if that makes sense. The gap was like, yeah, you could see it, but for the effort and energy and the hours I'd put in, I remember looking and thinking, oh, that don't look very much at the moment, does it? But I think that can often happen when you're clearing stuff out. I think initially you don't always tend to see the immediate benefit, because it takes often more time and longer than what you realise. And that made me smile, because I thought, I don't know why, I've done this before, but why do we sort of underestimate the time something's going to take? And I say that, to think to myself, well, in the same way I'd say to people, oh, you want change, you want to make changes in your life, and people then perhaps are anticipating that this change is going to happen, within a day or a week or a month, and I'll be saying to them, hold on, how old are you? So, for example, somebody says, I don't know, 40, and I'm like, okay, so it's taken you 40 years of learning and acquiring the skills, the information, the behaviours, the attitudes, the way you do things. So when you think about it like that, then you would expect it not to hopefully take another 40 years, but who's to know, but certainly take a little bit longer than a day or a week or even a month. And it's almost like putting that into perspective. So if I think about it like that, in the same way that, for example, it's taken me actually years to have accrued and developed various materials, and some of the other resources and materials I've gained over time through other things as well. So therefore, I'm like, well, man, yeah. So why would you expect to see a significant, dent in your clearing of stuff within a day, or even 2 days for that matter? And so I think, just needing to sort of accept that clearing, actually takes time. It takes, I think, longer than what certainly I anticipate. And also, I was talking to somebody else the other day about various things, and sort of mentioned this, the process of clearing, getting rid of stuff. In the process you come across stuff, particularly if you are a person who reflects and writes and journals and so on. So you then, I think, you're just coming across stuff that you're being reminded of things and memories and associations with stuff, and that can have a whole range of mixed feelings and emotions, some of which you won't necessarily be conscious of perhaps at the time, but then you might experience the process being really quite draining or tiring. I know that, I think certainly the day after, when I was starting to clear some of the stuff out the garage, I recall feeling quite flat, actually, is what I remember coming to mind. And it went, it didn't stay, but I think that was a part of the process, an after effect of letting go of things. Is not just I think the process people maybe as well don't always sort of acknowledge is that it's not just physical. I think by definition of the stuff that you're letting go of coming across, I think it's emotional and psychological as well. So I just think it's important to know that, to acknowledge it, to to possibly prepare yourself for it, but certainly to, I think, give yourself time and be easier, I think, on ourselves as well when we're clearing stuff out. As you can see, Willow's loving this squirrel land. I think the process also can help. Then, yes, you can have those emotions and feelings involved, but I think also it can help clear and declutter your mind, your space, because you can't keep, cramming stuff in, both physically and in your mind, really, I think, without sorting through and letting some of that stuff go. Giving yourself some clarity, some space to breathe, but also space to think, space to be more creative as well. So guys, have a fruity, funky, funny, freaky, Vanderbidozy Friday, and I shall speak to you later. Take care guys, bye.